Don't wish it were easier. Wish you were better. Don't wish for fewer problems. Wish for more skills. Most people spend their lives wishing things were easier. Easier jobs, easier money, easier success. We search for shortcuts because hard work feels uncomfortable. But here's the truth. Success doesn't come from having fewer challenges. It comes from becoming the kind of person who can handle bigger challenges. The wealthy, successful, and accomplished people you admire didn't get there because life was easy for them. They built valuable skills. They worked when others rested. They stayed disciplined when others quit. People see the luxury cars, the beautiful homes, and the success stories, but they don't see the years of sacrifice, the sleepless nights, the failures, and the relentless effort behind them. If you want a better life, stop asking for an easier path. Start becoming stronger, wiser, and more skilled. Because when you grow, your problems don't disappear. You simply become bigger than them. Every challenge comes carrying a lesson. Financial problems teach financial discipline. Business problems teach leadership. Rejection teaches resilience. Failure teaches wisdom. The problem itself is not your enemy. The real enemy is going through the problem and learning nothing from it. Problems are training grounds. Think about the strongest men you have ever known, not the men who had the easiest lives. Those men are rarely strong in any way that matters. I am talking about the men whose character you genuinely respect. The men who have been tested and not broken. The men who carry a certain quality in the way they move through the world, a steadiness, a groundedness, an absence of panic in moments that would send lesser men retreating. Now think about how those men got that way. What was the source of that strength? It was not comfort. It was not the absence of difficulty. It was the accumulation of difficulties met, endured, learned from, and survived. Each hard season added something to the man that the easy seasons simply cannot give. Each problem that was faced and not fled became a layer in the foundation that he now stands on. I want to give you an image that has stayed with me for a long time. When a blacksmith wants to make a blade that is strong enough to hold its edge through real use, he does not leave the metal soft and comfortable. He heats it until it glows. He hammers it. He shapes it under force and heat that would destroy a lesser material, and then he cools it and heats it again and hammers it again. The blade is not made in spite of that process. It is made by that process. The steel that comes through the hammer is stronger than the steel that went in, not because something was added to it from the outside, but because something was drawn out from within it, a quality of strength that could only be revealed through the very treatment that looked, from the outside, like punishment. A man is made the same way. The difficulty you are carrying right now, the financial pressure, the broken relationship, the failed venture, the season that is asking more of you than you feel you have, it is the hammer. And the question is not whether it is real or hard or fair. The question is whether you will allow it to do its work. Whether you will stay in the fire long enough to be made by it, or whether you will run from the heat and remain the soft metal you were when you walked in. The man who benefits from his problems is the man who stays in them with his eyes open, who asks, not, "Why is this happening to me?" but "What is this happening to teach me?" Who approaches the difficulty not as a victim of circumstances, but as a student of life, extracting every lesson, refusing to leave the training ground until he has learned what it has to offer. Successful people think differently about problems. Now let us talk about what separates the man who is built by his problems from the man who is crushed by them. Because both men face difficulty. Both men experience hardship. Both men have seasons when life is pressing on them from every direction. The difference between them is not the problem. It is what each man thinks when the problem arrives. What a man asks when something goes wrong. Because the questions you ask in the moment of difficulty are more important than any decision you make after it. The questions are the decision. The first question, why is this happening to me? This is the question most people ask, and it is not always wrong. There are moments when understanding the cause of a problem is genuinely useful, but in most cases, this question is asked not to gain understanding, but to assign blame. And blame, whether directed at the world, at other people, or at circumstances beyond your control, is one of the most expensive habits a man can carry. Because blame requires no skill, it requires no growth. It asks nothing of you except the willingness to be a victim. And the man who has accepted the identity of a victim cannot build anything of lasting substance. Because building requires agency, the belief that your choices matter, that your effort produces results, that what you do today has genuine bearing on what tomorrow looks like. Blame destroys agency, and without agency, there is no progress, only the repetition of old patterns with new explanations. The second question: what can I do about this? This is the question that separates the builder from the bystander. Not, why did this happen, but what can I do? It sounds like a small shift. It is in fact the entire distance between two completely different lives. The moment a man shifts from the first question to the second, something happens inside him. The energy that was going into explanation and complaint becomes available for action. The third question: what is this problem developing in me? This is the question of the mature man. The man who has lived long enough and studied hard enough to understand that difficulty is not random. That the specific problems life assigns to a man tend to be precisely the problems he needs in order to grow into who he is capable of becoming. The financial problem arrives to develop financial discipline. The leadership challenge arrives to develop leadership character. The season of loss arrives to develop the kind of gratitude and perspective that only loss can teach. The betrayal arrives, as painful as it is, to develop the discernment to invest trust more wisely. I am not saying that life is perfectly designed, or that every bad thing that happens has a tidy lesson attached to it. I am saying that the man who approaches his problems with the question, "What is this developing in me?" extracts value from difficulty that the man asking, "Why me?" will never find, because he is looking in a different direction, and what you look for, you tend to find. So, successful people do not experience problems as interruptions. They experience them as assignments. Difficult assignments sometimes, painful ones, but assignments that came to them specifically for a reason that their growth required. And they take those assignments seriously. They do not rush through them looking for the exit. They do not complain their way to the other side. That is what separates a successful person and a person who always blames circumstance and problems. The skill gap is the real problem. Most of your problems are not actually problems, they are skill gaps wearing the costume of problems. Let me explain what I mean. When a man looks at his financial situation and says, "Money is my problem," he is usually describing a symptom, not the root cause. The root cause is almost never the money itself. It is the skills, or the absence of skills, that govern how money is earned, managed, multiplied, and protected. When a man says, "My business is struggling," the business is not the problem. The leadership skills, the communication skills, the financial understanding, the ability to build a team, to solve problems under pressure, to make good decisions with incomplete information, these are where the gap actually lives. The struggling business is what the gap looks like from the outside. When a man says, "I can't seem to make my relationships work," the relationship is not the problem. The skills of listening, of honest communication, of emotional patience, of choosing well and investing wisely in the right people, these are where the gap is. The broken relationship is the gap made visible. This is a critical distinction, because if you identify the money as the problem, the solution you look for is more money. And more money, given to a man who has not developed the skills to manage it, will not solve the problem. It will simply amplify it. You have heard the stories of men who came into sudden wealth and were worse off 5 years later than they were before. The money was not the solution because the money was never the problem. But if you identify the skill gap as the real problem, the solution becomes something entirely different. Because skills can be built. They are not the property of a lucky few. They are the product of deliberate study, deliberate practice, and deliberate effort applied consistently over time. The reason most people do not identify the skill gap as their real problem is that identifying the skill gap requires accepting responsibility. And accepting responsibility is uncomfortable. It is far more comfortable to say, the economy is my problem, the timing is my problem, the other people in my life are my problem, than to say, I have not yet developed the skill that this situation requires. So face it now. Name it honestly. Identify the specific skill, not the vague category, but the specific skill that your current circumstances are requiring you to develop. Is it the skill of financial discipline? Name it. Is it the skill of leadership under pressure? Name it. Is it the skill of long-term thinking in a moment that is pressuring you towards short-term decisions? Name it. Because what you can name, you can work on. And what you work on deliberately, over time, with the seriousness it deserves, you will develop. And when you develop it, the problem that pointed you toward the skill will no longer have the power it currently holds over your life. Not because the world changed, because you did. How to develop skills instead of complaining. Ideas are powerful, but ideas alone won't change your life. Results come from action. So let me share a simple method for building skills instead of collecting excuses. First, learn from people who already have the skill you need. Whatever challenge you're facing right now, someone has already solved it. Someone has walked that road, made the mistakes, learned the lessons, and figured out what works. Your job is to find them. Read their books, listen to their interviews, study their habits. Don't just focus on what they achieved. Focus on how they thought. What did they do when nobody was watching? What did they do before the success arrived? Success leaves clues. The answers you're looking for are often hidden in the experiences of people who have already been where you want to go. Second, do the uncomfortable thing consistently. Most of the skills we need are hiding behind the things we avoid. The person who needs financial discipline avoids looking at their finances. The person who needs communication skills avoids difficult conversations. The person who needs confidence avoids situations that make them uncomfortable, but growth lives on the other side of discomfort. The key isn't doing the hard thing once. Anyone can be brave for a day. The key is doing it again tomorrow, and the day after that. Skill is built through repetition. The things that feel uncomfortable today become natural when practiced long enough. That's how confidence is built. That's how discipline is built. That's how every valuable skill is built. There are no shortcuts. Third, replace complaints with questions. Every complaint is an opportunity to ask a better question. Instead of saying, "This is too difficult," ask, "How can I make this easier to manage?" Instead of saying, "I don't know how," ask, "Who can teach me?" Instead of saying, "I don't have enough," ask, "How can I make better use of what I already have?" Complaints close doors, questions open them. The people who make the most progress in life aren't always the smartest or the most talented. They're often the ones who ask better questions and keep looking for better answers. Finally, measure your growth, not just the distance left to go. Too many people focus on how far they still have to travel. They compare themselves to where they want to be and become discouraged. Instead, look back. Think about who you were 6 months ago, a year ago, 5 years ago. What problems used to overwhelm you that you now handle with ease? What skills have you developed? What lessons have you learned? Progress becomes powerful when you can see it. Keep a record of your growth. Write it down. Because when you see proof that you're improving, you'll find the motivation to keep going, and that's the secret. Stop asking for fewer problems. Start becoming the person who can handle bigger ones. Because a better life doesn't come from easier challenges. It comes from becoming stronger, wiser, and more skilled than the challenges you face. every new level requires a new version of you. The life you want, the success you want, the opportunities you want, they all require a version of you that is different from the person you are today. And that's not criticism. It's opportunity. The problem you're facing right now isn't just something standing in your way. It's revealing the gap between who you are and who you need to become. Many people see a difficult situation and immediately think, why is this happening to me? A better question is, who do I need to become to handle this? Because the problem isn't saying you're not enough, it's saying you're not there yet. And not yet is a powerful phrase. It means growth is possible. It means the story isn't finished. Take a moment and look back at your life. Think about the problems that once felt overwhelming, the problems that kept you awake at night, the situations that made you doubt yourself. Most of those things don't bother you anymore. Why? Not because the world became easier, because you became stronger. You gained experience. You learned lessons. You built skills. You developed perspective. The person you became was capable of handling what once seemed impossible. That's exactly what's happening right now. The challenges in front of you today are not proof that you're failing. They're proof that you've arrived at a new level of life. And every level comes with new responsibilities, new demands, and new lessons. The question is not whether the challenge will disappear. The question is whether you'll become the person who can rise above it. That's why you must keep building skills. Keep asking better questions. Keep learning from people who have already walked the path. Keep doing the uncomfortable things that most people avoid. Because every one of those actions is shaping a stronger version of you. And one day, the problems that feel heavy today will become problems you handle with confidence, not because they changed, but because you changed. That's how growth works. Growth is not a destination, it's a direction. The people who continue growing throughout their lives understand this. They don't see problems as punishment. They see them as invitations, an invitation to become wiser, an invitation to become stronger, an invitation to become more capable than they were yesterday. And every time they accept that invitation, they step closer to the person they are capable of becoming. So when life presents you with a challenge, don't ask, why me? Ask, what is this trying to teach me? Because on the other side of every problem you choose to grow through is a version of yourself you've never met before. A stronger version, a wiser version, a more capable version. And that person is worth every difficult step it takes to become him. So don't wish it were easier. Wish you were better. Don't wish for fewer problems. Wish for more skills. Life will always bring challenges. The question is not whether they will come. The question is who you will become because of them. Every problem is a test. Every setback is a lesson. Every struggle is an opportunity to grow into a stronger version of yourself. Stop asking for an easier path. Start becoming the person who can walk any path. The life you want is waiting on the other side of your growth. So face the challenge, learn the lesson, build the skill. Become stronger than your problems. Because when you grow, the obstacles don't get smaller, you get bigger. The work begins now.